Good morning, coffee moaners. Good morning, coffee moaners. Wiley, coyote. How are we all? Tasmanian devil. I've got a bit kind of animated mad. How are we all? Morning, Hilary Daly. Deborah, yes, I just noticed as I was just grabbing my coffee. Deborah, happy birthday to your daughter. Looking forward to having her over on Sunday with her lovely husband and their two daughters. Wish your lovely daughter a happy 35th birthday. I hope you have a lovely weekend incoming. How are we all? How are you all? It's an incredibly beautiful sunny day, which makes me want to punch the sun in its face. I know people love it. I know you love it. I know we love it. I want to punch the sun in its miserable, godforsaken face. It just sits there, just mocking, going, I'm sunny. Makes us all feel paranoid about our bodies, about my eczema, it's just like, I'll go away. Bet you're pleased you came here. Morning, Tori. Thank you so much, Tori, for your sending me that lovely meme. I'm going to try and play it so long as the system doesn't crash because of the music. I really needed to see that. It was lovely, and it might chime with other people here. Morning, Christopher. Morning, Lee. Great live last night on Trump's America. Thank you so much, Lee Durrant, watching from the garden, soaking up the rays. Are we, Lee? They've announced the list. They've announced the list for Glastonbury. Any aging hippies, or any hipsters, or anyone who just loves live music in whatever shape or form. And I'm going to have to say I'm a little bit sad because Roy Ayers has passed away, the rhythm and blues jazz phonic vibraphone player who gave us such classics as Everybody Loves the Sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. There's a certain brand of funk from the 70s. I don't know if anyone here is into funk, but bands like the Ohio Players and War and stuff like that, where they used to have this sound effect, which God only knows how they did it, but it sounded like a sort of, it was like a great big tube of something coming out. Anyway, yeah, let's pop up the band list, shall we? It's quite a list of the Prodigy are playing, absolutely right. The 1975 Loyal Kana, our kids will be very excited about that. Alanis Morissette, Blast from the Past. Busta Rhymes. I remember getting down to some Busta Rhymes, and I used to wear my cap like that. Get down to the old Buster. Oh, God, that really hurts. As you get older, I'm sure men's heads get bigger. Busta Rhymes, Marabou State, a band that I'm using in a film that we're making at the moment. Marabou State. Well, the kids are going to go frantic for this. Fortet, they're good. On the Saturday, Neil Young, Charlie XCX. I wonder if she's going to bring all of her brat Brits along with her. Who else have we got? Ray, Ducci, the Ezra Collective. The girls are into the Ezra Collective. And then on Sunday, you've got all the old fogies, Rod Stewart, the Prodigy, Olivia Rodrigo, Overmono, a great Overmono. They're another band that I'm using their music for a film as well. Very good. Bob Villain. Who else is in there? Deftones. I'm quite lucky that I kind of know quite a few of them. Fortet are a vibe. Fortet are quite a vibe, as are Bonobo. If anyone's into Bonobo, they're pretty good too. I'll tell you what's odd. I'll tell you what's really strange, if anyone else gets this, is seeing bands like Fortet still in there when I was certainly not raving, but my God, they've been around for a fair few years. The list looks mid to me, especially given that it won't be on next year due to follow year, so it won't be back till 2027. Yeah. I mean, I can't say when I look at the list on festivals are a curious thing. You're going really to be fleeced and sold deeply expensive hot dogs. you're made to think they taste like no other, but that's mainly because they've cost an arm and a leg. You haven't taken a shit for 2 days. When you have, you felt like vomiting. You've got a bad tummy and stomach cramps because you're having a little bit of a reaction to the unprocessed carbs. You may have overdone it with a little bit of the old alcohol, a little bit of the old ketamine. So you could be nursing bladder irritation. And so consequently, you know, it's a kind of curious place where you don't get anywhere near to the acts, if I'm honest. One of the oddest parts of festivals, it's not about the acts. Everyone says, I want to sit on someone's shoulders. And all you see is a dot in the corner. It's total fucking nonsense. I mean, I went back in the day when there was only 50,000 people who went to Glastonbury, 1991, around there. Now it's a quarter of it. Come on. It's, you know, the hypocrisy. Angry vandals in sandals. The Country Pumpkin says it's the hypocrisy that gets me. Thousands of vegans all paying to go and stay on working. Oh, I didn't even think about it like that. On a dairy farm. Maybe are all vegans necessarily political? I tell you what I find also contradictory is the waste and the debris afterwards. And really, I hate to say it, Zoe, all I spent my time doing was dashing from one stage to another stage based on great names. But again, we're talking 25 years ago when the crowds weren't so extreme. So you stood a chance of getting nearest not the front, but getting crushed. I mean, because that's the other thing. If you get close, you're going to get crushed. That's the joy. That's your payback. Or you're going to get caught in a mosh pit. I mean, I live in fear of our kids. And mosh pits have a circular energy to them that can just take anyone under, even innocent bystanders or moshers who don't want a mosh pit. So all I remember festivals being, I'd rush from that stage to this stage, missing everything. You'd often get to see a really sort of, unknown band at the lower end of the list who in 10 years' time are so massive, you then can, over a pint of Ruddles County, go, oh, man, I remember watching Coldplay. He winked at me. Yeah, they were so, I remember seeing them. They were like 11th on the act. But the problem with that is you've gone to Glastonbury. And so what you've discovered is that the most meaningful and radical band that gives you the best street cred and you've had the best experience with is a band that you haven't really listened to because you just want to sit on the floor, not in a crowd, and eat your dodgy hot dog. And then you have to wait 10 years before you can go, oh, wow, I saw them. I did that with the Eels once. I saw the Eels way low down the pecking order, almost shared a pint with the lead singer of the Eels. And then I had to wait about 30 years to go, mate, I saw the Eels. Most of the people I'd been to that festival with, dark humour coming in, have gone due to addiction. No, I'm joking. Glasto is weather dependent because if it's a washout rain-wise, it's awful. It's like swimming in mud, Reese. It's like a chocolate fountain of many different varieties. And the tickets aren't cheap. So I personally, if I, and this isn't being a party, but this isn't a generational thing. I love my music. I love music. I love live music. But I think it's an absolute fucking rip-off. Don't let your kids tap you up for the tickets. It's a total rip. You don't see, our kids went to see Bicep at Reading, couldn't get a look in. All you see are lights in the distance going, it sounds better playing it in your headphones or at a party. And does anyone else get this, just whilst we're on the topic of youth, youngsters, music? Because this was the case when I was a raver. All the music we like listening to, electronic music, dance music, all that kind of stuff, all the good dance music, because there's good dance music and then there's just, why do they never play the good dance music at clubs? Why do they never play the good dance music at raves? Why is it always the mentalist crazy shit? I remember years ago, we used to go to, what was it called? Fabric at Turnmills, was it, in North London? And we used to go up to, me and my then girlfriend would go up to the DJs and we go, could you put on the Chemical Brothers? And guess what? They were the fucking Chemical Brothers. So you kind of got what you wanted. But you don't think, it is something I hear the kids moaning about all the time, that there is none of the music you want to dance to can you dance to unless you play it at home. Oh, so I just had to get that off my chest because I love it. Bicep, Belfast boys, absolutely. Try going to a gig, get nowhere near them. You may as well plonk it on a CD, even though we don't play CDs. But yeah, Zoe, it's a great time. I went 2022. You'll go defo at some point. I just want it to be an undeniable musical list for you, Reese. Reese, would you still come on, Reese? Me and you, we can be honest with each other. The atmosphere is great, but what is the atmosphere? The atmosphere is lots of people not quite experiencing or hearing what they want to hear. That's my sense of it. Isn't it frustrating? Come round my gaff, Reese, chuck on your tunes, and we can all have a merry dance together on the table. And we can chat. I can get drinking. I won't drink. You know what I mean? Oh, maybe we should just do Glastonbury as a kind of vlog. It's quite a good idea. A lot of the gigs I go to have mosh pits, says Country Pumpkin, which can be scary if you want to get near the front. Yeah, you get near the front, you get taken into the vortex of death. I mean, there are mosh pits for Taylor fucking Swift. It doesn't matter what the music is. There'll be some mosh nutter off his trolley, and he just spins it round, 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 right round. Everybody go round, round. One of the best gigs I think I've ever been to was Faithless back in the day. That was good. And as I say, I sat on Chris Martin's knee when they were nigh so big. Anyway, so there you go. There's the list again. If you want to screenshot it now. I mean, I know Rod Stewart's lovely and he's kind of like a national treasure and everything, but no thanks. Sorry, no thanks. Anyway, what are we talking about? Trump issues final message to Hamas in unsubtle terms. Where will the world be in 2035? We talk about whether there'll be Glastonbury next year or the year after, but will there be a world? That's the question I'm asking. What was the first gig? Oh my God. I think my first, you're not going to believe this. My first gig ever was Cameo. Oh yeah. At the, can't remember where it was. Hammersmith Apollo, maybe? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it was good. It was great. I used to love my dance music. I remember going to university and everyone was like, why aren't you into New Order? Why aren't you into the Smiths? And I'm like, I like funk. That's why I'm upset that Roy Ayers has died. Roy Ayers, Ubiquity. Everybody loves the sunshine. Do the funky worm. It's like, I hate to say it, that sound that I was talking about earlier, the sort of, is a bit like doing a shit, basically. Okay. What was everyone's first gig? Cameo. I think Cameo was my first gig. Yeah, for sure. Tell us what your first gig was. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Trump issues final message to Hamas. Cross this line and you're dead. That's what he's saying. That's basically what he's saying. Where will we be in 2035? Where do you think we'll be in 2035? There's a census has been done of 40 global experts and predictors and all that kind of stuff. And they're telling us where they think we'll be. And when it comes to it, when push comes to shove and World War III happens, could we even fight the fucking thing? Given that when we tried to fire a Trident missile, it went in the wrong direction. And none of the kids want to fight because they're peace lovers. First gigs, Culture Club, Dawny Harvey. Nice one. Level 42, Debbie O'Keefe. Because there is something about you, baby. So right. I used to love that. Level 42 were very funky, weren't they? Funk, you see, like the old funk. Get down with the funk. Trouble Funk, do you remember Trouble Funk? My first gig was Wham, Debbie Pollard. My second gig was the Wham final. It was incredible. So you saw Wham and then you saw their final gig. Russ Souch, first gig, Faithless. Yeah. Rihanna 2007. Who remembers a band called The Shaman? When I was at university, I used to do I was social secretary, so we used to put bands. So we used to put bands on. I put on Ocean Colour Scene. Do you remember them? They did the sound. They did the opening sort of thingy for TFI Friday. Ding 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 ding. Ocean Colour Scene. They were. I think that was them. Yeah, it was. Ocean Colour Scene. Saw them. Put them on. The Shaman. Put them on. House Martins. Do you remember them? Kathy Hyde. They were a miserable bunch, weren't they? But kind of not miserable either at the same time. Meatloaf, when I was 16 in Plymouth Pavilions. Def Leppard, Kerry Bedford. Who else did I see? Cameo. Really, the gigging started at university for me. Adam and the Ants when you were about 10. That's so cool. That's so cool. I used to fancy Gary Stringer, the singer of OCS. Oh, Ocean Colour. Did you? Oh, Flintlock. I remember filming years ago with ITV. We did a series. We filmed with Nightmares on Wax. Do you remember the band Lamb? I fell in love with her. Mark, I went to a festival in 2007 and missed Daft Punk. You Daft Punk, you. I've never regretted anything more in my life, but you would have been able to see them. Zoe, this is the thing. If you miss someone or something at a festival, you haven't really. You just missed bad sound, bad position, someone with bad breath. There'll be some asshole on someone's shoulders right in front of you. Or when we went to see Aurora, is that her name? There was some muppet who's so tall and wide, he just stood in front of us and didn't move. He literally couldn't get past him. Stereophonics the week before lockdown. It was lovely. Oh, go and see Coldplay in August. Can't wait. Yeah, I mean, we were lucky when we saw The Weekend, so we could slot in right by the side. But these gigs are so big, you sort of, and the sound, or even when people go, "Oh, the sound is so good." Do you get this, Reese? The sound is so good, and you're there, and all you can hear is ah. It's not. We're all bullshit. Look, we're all bullshitting each other. It's not great. And when you come out and you say to people, "I was there," I mean, I've said to people, "Oh yeah, we saw The Weekend." People aren't like, "Oh wow." I was particularly impressed. I didn't hear his music in a better way. I didn't have a more intimate understanding of his message. Do you get me? Sorry, I don't know what's happened. God, I didn't think Glastonbury would trigger so much chat. Toffs, basically, says Reese. You see, I'm harking back to the good old days. I think I've said it before, where Chris Martin rang his mum. And he rang his mum on a phone that wasn't a smartphone. It was before the smartphone was a big thing. And he sort of like held it out to the girl and said, "Say hello, Mum." It's really sweet. Okay, yeah, so God, we've got to talk about the end of the world now, haven't we? Okay, so let's talk about Hamas, I'm afraid. Yeah, let's do it. Donald Trump, America's talking to Hamas and everyone's gone, "Ah!" It's funny that, isn't it? How everyone has to talk to someone at some point. Everyone's like headless chickens. Headless, yeah. You know, you're talking to Hamas. What? They have mouths. They speak. Oh my God. Yeah. So, but they were talking to Hamas, and basically, and then Donald Trump issued this statement on Truth Social last night. "Shalom Hamas means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Release all of the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all of the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted." I just want to make a point that Israel not only keeps many bodies, but it often doesn't hand them back. And there are suggestions and accusations that many bodies are also having parts of their bodies taken away from them. Just to put in the spirit of balance. "Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted. I'm sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I've just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. This is your last warning. For the leadership, now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a choice. Also, to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later." Wow, God almighty. So Israel isn't accountable for anything. Israel doesn't have to change a thing. Israel doesn't have to do anything. The important thing to understand here, guys, is Israel has broken the terms of the ceasefire. Israel is trying to change the terms of the second phase, i.e., we don't want to withdraw from Gaza. And so Hamas, rightly or wrongly, are seeking to hold on to whatever bargaining chips they feel they need. Because, I mean, imagine this. I mean, I suppose if all the hostages go back, suddenly, what's going to stop everyone from just piling in and just completely destroying the place? So Hamas find themselves in a tricky place. Their negotiating power is compromised. The Arab nations have come up with a 3-phase plan for Gaza, which involves billions of dollars. I mean, we're in a curious situation where Donald Trump is saying things like, Gaza is so full of ordnance, unexploded ordnance. It's a cesspit. It's a hole. It's it's dangerous, and yet keeps funding and sending weapons to the country that's making it even more dangerous. And so, you know, this threat, this kind of throwing down of the kind of gauntlet by Donald Trump last night, it's nothing new. It doesn't change anything. But how does he feel? I mean, I suppose, how does he feel this is going to make things any different? So weird. And just the language, I think there's, you know, I mean, I'm a big fan, and I'm a big fan of not using the kind of politico speak of, you know, the Bidens and all that kind of stuff. But like Lucy May says, did a 12-year-old write that? I mean, it's like he's texting someone he's annoyed with. It's just ridiculous. He wants the land for him, Tanya Bartlett, and Israel, so that's all he cares about. A horrible, insane man makes me so mad. I hate him so much. Gabrielle, how come Trump suddenly wants to get involved in Gaza when they've ignored it for the last year? Well, I mean, you know, I mean, interestingly, I don't know if you saw that the creator of the satirical AI film of Trump's Gaza, which we all knew was satirical. I know a lot of people wanted to make out it was made for Trump, but the maker of it said it was satirical. You know, it sounds like, reading between the lines, that maybe Mel Gibson had sent a copy of it to Donald Trump. You know, Mel Gibson, the MAGA hero who's going to be sent into Hollywood to clean up its act. Fucking hell, you're joking. Zoe, my dad rang me last night ranting about Trump for an hour. He wants to build on the land. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's just, you know, it's the language of a child. It's a tyrannical toddler. None of this is going to help anything. None of this changes anything. So when everyone was kind of going, oh, you're talking to Hamas, the idea is that I think America are talking to Hamas about trying to broker a deal to release just the American hostages. But I don't think Trump's missive, I mean, a lot's being made of this text. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't even reveal anything. I mean, we said last night in our Trump's America, I think what we get with Donald Trump is the most unvarnished truth of America, whereas with the likes of the Democrats, and I think this is always the way, with the Democrats, you get a more concealed truth. So I don't trust Bill Clinton. I don't trust Obama. I don't trust them as far as you can throw them. I certainly didn't trust Hillary Clinton, didn't trust and don't like Biden. You know, they're all pretending there's something else, whereas they all share an American exceptionalism and isolationism and a disregard really for the rest of the world. I think the thing with Trump that we struggle with, though I would argue, at least we know exactly, there's no, the thing about Trump is there's no doubt what he's feeling about things or what his attitude is about it. When he says it and you're like, right, okay, it's not nice. And it belies a kind of sociopathic, narcissistic nut job. But he just says it as he sees it. Now, the problem, I think more the problem with Trump is that he says it as he sees it at that moment. But how he might see it tomorrow could change. And I think that's the bit that's really unpredictable and leads me to the next topic, which is, where will the world be in 2035? I want you all to, in pithy little sentences, as if we're in class, just quickly now, jot down, where will we be in 2035? Not just World War III, because I don't think it will work like that, but what will the world look like in another 10 years? Whilst you're putting your comments down, hundreds of experts on international affairs believe World War III is now inevitable and is likely to start sometime within the next 10 years. A new survey of 357 political strategists, all weighing in on the future of humanity, 4 in 10 of them say that a major war involving powerhouses will explode before or by 2035. The majority of those who believe World War III is coming said it would more than likely involve nuclear weapons, as well as battles in outer space, thus Elon Musk's presence in the White House. The most notable example, pushing respondents to predict, would likely be President Donald Trump establishing the US Space Force in 2019. 1.7%, I'm surprised by this, just 1.7% of respondents said that they thought a new pandemic was the most concerning crisis facing the world, and only 5.1% think that financial debt will cripple the world. So amongst many specialists, this was a survey conducted by the Atlantic Council, a global affairs think tank in Washington. There is a belief and there is a feeling that World War III is inevitable. Ooh, 2035, Therese Ray. I don't even want to think about it. So really, I mean, what can we do? We don't know. We can't look into a crystal ball and go, oh yeah, that's going to happen. Let's assume it's bad. How does this feed into your approach to day-to-day life? Does this change how you go about things? Does this make you feel perhaps a little, anxious? Yes. Afraid? Perhaps. But if one in some small way tries to sort of embrace the powerlessness of it, does it make you not worry about certain things in such an extreme way? Karen Reynolds, I told my boys they were not going, as I don't believe in wars. I said, I will see you in prison. Oh, so I guess you're kind of referring to, Karen Reynolds, the idea of, youngsters being called up to war. I think there's going to be a major problem if they try and call youngsters. Reese, you're definitely of serving in the army age, conscription age. Would you sign up? If you were forced to, what would you do? What I mean is, if conscription was introduced, what would you do? Look to Israel and them strong arming the Orthodox Jewish community into having to conscript. Huge riots that we've seen with many of the more Orthodox Jewish civilians of Israel not wanting to sign up to the army at all. Broken and soulless unless we fight back, says Lucy May. Broken and soulless if we fight back too, right, Lucy May? What do you is the worry? I suppose I struggle with the idea that Russia wants the UK. I can understand that they want Estonia and Latvia and Lithuania and Poland. And I understand that we could go to war, and that's what we'll probably go to war over. I think what people get afraid of is, they're going to come here. I don't think anyone's fucking interested. It's the big I am. We've passed it. We've gone past that. No one wants us. Reese, thank you. I would go to prison or go to another country because that's what a lot of wealthier people did during World War II. Interesting. Yeah, so evacuate, basically, emigrate. We're a military family. There's not enough personnel to train. Oh, that's interesting. Really, Rachel? We're a military family. There's not enough personnel to train conscripts. Wow. You see, I think any attack or any war will be about neutering us, which is going to be done very quickly and effectively, rather than, overrunning us. And I think, but the problem is, of course, you neuter a country, infrastructure, and then bedlam breaks out and everyone starts running around the streets just clambering at each other. It becomes the Walking Dead. And it really, really will. I think being quite serious about it, I think as a family, we talk in the abstract about 5, 6, 7 years about leaving the country, about leaving Europe. I think more and more people will start to think in these terms. But of course, the problem with any kind of global conflict now is every country is involved. New Zealand and Australia, there's the whole conflict on that side of the world. They would get caught up in any Chinese side of things. And then, Greenland, Iceland, the Arctic is the next big battleground. So much stuff is going to be fought for in the Arctic. I feel somewhat like, and I think someone said the other day, there is a syndrome. It feels somewhat like as a race, we are ineluctably drawn. Do you ever see that Pixar film, A Bug's Life? Oh, what's that? It looks like smoke. Have you ever seen that Pixar film, A Bug's Life? And there's that fly that's just drawn to the light, and then it burns the light, and it can't help. It's just like it's drawn to it. I feel like we're all drawn to there's an inevitability to what's happening. It's like we're on a conveyor belt and we're all watching it come towards us. Like that scene in Toy Story 4 or 3 when they're going down the sort of trash compactor chute. And go where Jenny Ella Cook. We talk about it in the abstract. We have conversations. We have a lot of conversations in the abstract, actually, very unspecific. And we go, where? Iceland is nice, but my God, the Wi-Fi is shit. Nice one, Gemma. I'm pleased you've ordered it. Hope you like it. Oh, yeah, I've got one here. I think the metal ones have sold out. Oh. Is anyone here ever thinking already about tooling up, stockpiling food, building a bunker, all that kind of stuff? I mean, you know, the first thing to go would be Wi-Fi. So we'd be gone. We wouldn't be able to chat with you. We wouldn't be able to hold your hand as we all go down this morning, because they'll take out all of the bloody Wi-Fi tubes and wires and all the bits that make it all work. Christopher Gundle, have you seen the TV series Paradise? Maybe we'll be moved into a city built into a mountain like in the show. No, but have you also read the book The Wall? I forget the name of the writer. Is it John Lanchester, maybe? Which is about a country like Britain building a wall, literally, to surround it, to stop migrants coming in. Oh, God. What would the world be like without you guys for us to talk to, and without, hopefully, us for you to talk to? It's super bleak in the winter. Oh, it's just, yeah. I think we're all fucked. And we just can't get the youngsters to fight. It's just not going to happen. They're just not interested. And that, you know, we've really got to, older people have got to get off this hobby horse of going, well, where's your nationalism? You've got no sense of national. Well, you know what? When a nation has done nothing to engender any pride or kind of, oh, wow, yeah, you know, the rubric of work hard, home, it doesn't work. It's like, go fuck yourself. And, you know, youngsters, I think more and more younger people in younger generations aren't defined by, let's face it, if you go back far enough, relatively arbitrary borderlines of countries. People are people. And what you've seen, I think, in the Palestinian movement, Free Palestine movement, is yes, you know, the reason Palestinian statehood is important is because a population is under apartheid and control. So, of course, their idea of freedom is being freed from constraint. And freedom in that instance is nationhood. But when you get to the West and when you get to a situation where everyone has nationhood, it is all kind of arbitrary, which is why this idea of kind of, you know, I don't know, being just castigating and marginalizing migrants every which way. Everything we're doing, you don't have to look far and you don't have to be a historian and it doesn't have to be complicated. There are enormous parallels with everything that's happening now and everything that led to Nazi Germany. And it's, you know, and I worry that we just have a number of people in authority who are so self-interested, they don't care about the parallels. But don't be surprised when you turn to the youngsters, because all these kind of rich, middle-class, middle-aged, old, white, imperialist men and women leading these countries, who do they all turn to in their time of need? Oh, I know what, let's look down there and turn to the children. Let's turn to the younger generation. Would you mind just going over there and all being killed? Don't be surprised if they say no. And if they say no, it doesn't mean they're disloyal or not a patriot, because I think that's going to be the next culture war. It's going to be, are you a patriot enough? Would you fight for your country? I think everyone needs to be quite proud about saying, not necessarily in the way that it is now. No, I would have done once, but not now, actually. Thank you very much. I'll have a double espresso, please. There you go. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to go. Stuff is going to land later, and see you tomorrow for the Friday quiz. For those of you, I'm in touch with Faith Goodman. She's good. She's just having a little bit of a break from social media at the moment. So have a lovely day. Lots of love to Faith. Lots of love to all of you. Thank you for all of your comments. All of your do check out Trump's America last night. And as I say, something else will be landing later. I'm not quite sure what's locked and